Hi YouTube, it's Princess Diamond. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you guys how I did these knotless box braids on myself. I really love the color. I'm using my own braiding hair, and I thought this would be a great color for the season that we're in. You can see how well the color looks up against my white t-shirt. So yeah, I thought it was great for the snow season. I asked you guys if you guys wanted to see me do knotless box braids or straight back feed-in braids. The majority of you guys voted for the knotless braids, so here we go.
She's a diamond. She's a diamond girl. She's a diamond. Diamond, diamond, diamond.
Alright you guys, so let's first start out with the hair that I'll be using for these braids. I'm using my Princess Diamond Company braiding hair, and this is the hair blend Iced Coffee. If you guys remember, I had put this hair blend out on the website just a couple months ago, so I thought this would be a really nice blend for winter, as I've been saying, just because of the it's given like a mocha color, like you want to be warm, but then it has that 613 in there, so it just looks really nice up against anything white. So I thought really perfect for this snow season. You guys let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a nice color for this season, or do you think this is more of like a fall blend? For me, like I said, definitely a winter blend. If you want to purchase it, the link is down in the description below. So I'm starting out with my hair freshly washed. And because I'm doing these on myself, I refuse to torture myself. So I'm going to do this in a span of 2 days. So this is the first half that I'm going to start out with. I'm showing you guys how I sectioned out the hair, basically starting with the middle part in the front. And then I'm doing the ear to ear parting, and that half in the front is what I'm going to work on my second day. But for the first day, I'm going to focus on the back section. And in the back section, I am just doing my parts going straight across. Well, as straight as I can get it. I'm going to give myself some grace since I'm doing this on myself. My parts are not going to be perfect. So this is row number 2. And then there's the 3rd row. There's the 4th, 5th, and then the top row would be 6. So 6 rows in the back. And I'm just doing square partings. And you guys can see that I'm using my Magic Fingers hand helpers there in the right hand bottom corner. That's going to help me doing the feed-in braids. This is already a struggle, having to do your hair yourself. Anything that I can do to help minimize the time, I am going to gravitate to that. So since I already pre-sectioned out my rows, it made it a lot easier to just now go in and do the boxes. And so I'm just going to try to do the bricklayer boxing, so that way it can give it more of like a fuller effect and have the braids laying in between each other instead of being stacked. I am using Shine and Jam in the red jar from Magic Fingers. I'll link the product down in the description for you guys to check out. I'll also link the hand helper as well if you guys are interested in that. So just definitely check out the description if you're looking for whatever is being used in this video. So to start out, I'm just going to split the my hair into 3 equal sections. I don't like to do a full braid before I start feeding in the hair, so I'm just going to start it out basically like halfway. It's not a full braid, but you know, and then I'm going to add in a section of the braiding hair. I'm starting with smaller sections first, and then you can see I just wanted to show you guys how I'm holding the hair to add it in. So I am gripping it with my 3 fingers, and then I'm putting my index finger and my thumb in between that loop, and then that loop is just going to go in my in between my index finger and my thumb on the opposite hand. And then once I have a good grip of the braiding hair, then I'm just going to start with my first braid until I get back to the original hand that I was holding it with, which for me is my left hand. And then I'm going to grab my next section of braiding hair that I'm going to add in and do the same thing, holding that with my bottom 3 fingers. My index finger and my thumb goes through the loop, and I'm going to slide that loop right in between my index finger and my thumb on my opposite hand that I'm holding the braid with. Once I have a good grip, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a full braid until I go back to holding it with my left hand, and I'm gonna continue with that same process. And I typically do like to feed in 5 pieces, and yes, my pieces do start small and then gradually grow, but not too large, like just a little bit, just grow just slightly. And then you guys will see a little towards like when I get to the top of my head that I'm no longer feeding in 5 pieces in a row. I start to then just feed in 3 pieces in a row and then feed in the other 2 pieces more towards like the ends of my natural hair. And the reason for that is because my hair is a little finer towards the back or the bottom than it is in the middle or the front. The middle and front of my hair is very thick, so I'm trying to keep the consistency of the braid, and so I'm not feeding in as many pieces right away. I'd rather feed it in towards the bottom when my hair starts to taper. So that is why you'll see I start feeding it in a little differently when I'm in the middle or the top of my braids. And once I get to that part of my head, I am going to show you guys how I feed in those sections because it is a little differently since I'm holding my hand or the braid differently than I am, in the back. So I'm going to show you guys how I am able to feed in those sections. I know it looks a little red. That's just a weird spot on my scalp. I can't explain it. It doesn't hurt. There's no tension. Like I said, just a real weird spot. There's like a little lump in that area where I'm touching. But like I said, just no tension. It's just how it is. Now I finished off the back half, so we're in day 2. Second day, I am doing the front half now, and my parts are now just going straight back. And I think I had 5 rows on each side, so altogether in the front there were 10 rows. I decided to braid my hair halfway while I was able to see my head, and then the remaining half of the braids I was able to just sit on the couch and watch Netflix or read a book and finish the rest of the braids. Just made it easier for me that way. So I'm doing the feed-in part just the same, but like, as I explained earlier, now I am starting to just feed in 3 in a row, 3 sections in a row, and then the other 2 I add a little later further down the braid. So I'm going to try to attempt to explain how I do that. Before I explain that, for anyone curious, I use 5 packs of my braiding hair, but if you're using a different brand, you're definitely going to need at least 3 packs to do a full head of knotless box braids. I think this is something better understood visually, but for the ones that need a little more explanation, I'm gonna attempt to try to. So my section that I'm adding has 2 ends. So I'm going to place that with one of the ends matching the middle section and then the other end matching the outer section. Now, the section that I am about to cross over is not one of the sections that is going to match up with. It's going to match up with the other section that I'm not crossing over. That's like the best way I'm thinking that I can explain that. So, but I'm going to show you guys several other times, so just keep watching. So I have my first, my second, which is the middle section, and then my third, which is the other outer section. The piece that I'm adding is going to match up with my first and my second. So my first and my middle section, because the third section is the one that I'm now going to cross over to continue with the braid. And once I cross over my third section, which is the section that I am not adding a new piece of hair to, I'm just going to continue to braid as normal. Another thing I'm going to explain is notice how I'm adding that section of hair to the back of the braid. So what you're looking at right now is actually the back of the braid. So that's why you're not going to be able to see how I added it in. So it's laying flat against the 2 sections, 1 and 2. That third section is the one that's going to cross over, that does not have a piece of section with it. So yeah, I just wanted to show that this braid is being flipped and you're actually looking at the back part of the braid and not the front. So you won't actually see where I added in that piece of hair. So just take note of that when you're adding in your section. Again, I am going to do this a couple more times and I'm not even going to explain. I'm just going to let you guys watch yourself. And if you still don't understand it, I do have a separate video on how to add braiding hair to a braid, but in that video it's not really like a DIY version. It's more of just showing you how to do it on someone else. So I really wanted to explain it in here since this is more of a DIY and I wanted you guys to understand on how to do it yourself. But I know it gets tricky, so you guys practice, practice, practice. When I got done with these braids, I immediately had to run and go pick up my son from school. So I didn't get time to do my finishing touches, which is just adding my mousse. So I didn't show you guys that on camera. I apologize. This is actually like 2 days. Is it 2 days later? It's either 1 or 2 days later. I'm now showing you guys the finished results. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like I said, if you're interested in the hair blend, the link to my website is down in the description, so you can go and check that out. I hope that I made sense in this video as far as like how to add in the pieces to your hair. You know, I tried to explain it as best as I could. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the overall braid itself. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like the color, like really. Because like the reason why I did this was to show you guys what the iced coffee hair blend looks like as a style as Knotless box braid. So here's a close-up. Like for real, I really hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Be blessed, stay protected, and stay filled with love and peace. Bye, guys.